One, two, three. One, two, three. Hello and welcome to Stream Not Streaming, episode 3. I have taken note of what the time is that I started for once, so it is 10, or it's just gone 10:11. And today we're actually going to be doing a digital trace of a sketch that my friend Layla did for the character Felicity. Just take a moment to admire just how good this work is. And hopefully my digitalizing will continue to do it justice. Okay, so I've had the group chat open. I actually started it a bit early just to see whether we can get some questions to start off with, and we have from Harrison, and he says, in my opinion, best supervillain in DC and best supervillain in Marvel. So as I get ready to answer that, we'll get started on this trace, just making sure that all my settings are exactly how I want them. Okay, so Marvel, it being my preferred universe for superheroes, I would probably have to say, I mean, I wouldn't consider Angela to be a supervillain, so I can't really put her into the mix, although she has been considered to be a villain at some point because of the fact that she stole Thor's sister when she was but a child. But no, favorite Marvel supervillain. I'm gonna rule Ultron immediately out of the mix because I think it was episode 1 where I said immediately that I don't enjoy Ultron as a character, so he's definitely not going to be a possible favorite. I would probably have to say. See, I really like. I actually really like Doctor Octopus from the old, from the first Spider-Man films. So either him. Just trying to think of all the Marvel films. Yeah, I don't know why Doctor Octopus is the only one who's actually standing out for me on this occasion, but he seems to be the logical choice for some reason. I know I'm probably going to kick myself while I'm editing this, just come up with something even better. But I think the music really okay then. Someone wishes to get in contact. Not with me though. Ah. Just let this subside. This ringtone does not get better the more you hear it. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably kick myself later on. When I come to edit this, just realizing what a stupid thing that was to say, but no, I definitely like Doctor Octopus. Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that my favorite supervillain for Marvel then comes from probably one of my least favorite superhero films. Oh, I completely forgot all the X-Men films. Okay. Mm, What? Oh, well, in that case then, I'll go with Jean. Jean Grey, absolutely. Well, when she's the Phoenix. Screw Doctor Octopus. Jean Grey for sure. Okay, that is absolutely my choice. I just remembered all the characters that I have up on my wall in my room, and Jean Grey being one of them. When she's the Phoenix, it's just yes. Every scene with her, without fail, is perfection, and yeah, Jean Grey absolutely is my 100% favorite supervillain, or like I said, the Dark Phoenix. Okay, and he also mentioned best supervillain in DC. I would either have to go with Mr. Freeze from the Batman animated series, or and I know loads of people like the Joker, but I never played any of the Arkham games. The only Joker I've ever seen is from the films. I know he did it. I'll openly admit he did a stunning job at the actor did of portraying that role, but he's still not my favorite supervillain. Because I don't like Mr. Freeze from the actual motion picture. Because all those terrible one-liners. The hell was that? Okay, I don't know what that was. It was unless my sister's iPad is somewhere around. Because neither my computer nor my phone makes that noise. Okay. Oh. Sorry, super villain. Oop. Fudge. Yeah. It's very difficult to think of all the DC villains, especially because DC isn't my my universe of choice. Just trying to think of all the films that are out and all the TV series. I suppose also with the Batman animated series, I really liked Man Bat. It was really terrifying to watch as a kid, but I really enjoyed the concept of having Batman and Man Bat duking it out. It was definitely a very cool moment. Okay, well, I got another question or a idea. My friend Adam said, either let's go political, which never ends well, so I'm not going to do that. Or cool dreams and shit you've had. Thank you, Adam. Cool dreams. How that scary ass one, the Suicide Bridge one, which I wrote pretty much a novel about, or a short story. But I wouldn't consider that a cool dream. I still can't recall whether I've actually had any Star Wars related dreams, which is unusual for me, especially because that is one of the things that's always on my mind. But I think I had, again, not a cool dream where Star Wars 7 was a musical or something like that, and that it's pretty much the worst outcome I could have ever imagined. So, oh gosh, but cool dreams. I know one of my friends would appreciate this. I recently had one where I had Loki's powers. For those not in the know, that's a character from Marvel. One of the supervillains. I bet she'll be annoyed that I didn't choose him as my favourite. But Jean Grey again. Oh, sorry, again the Phoenix against. Wow, really? Someone really wants to get in contact. Probably should pick up the phone, but I'm not going to. My friend Simon asks, "Am I still up for the Lord of the Rings marathon?" I just replied, "Yes, I am." Oh, well, that was fucking bollocks. I had to edit that because someone actually left a message. Yeah, so don't leave messages. Don't do it. Not while I'm streaming. So one of the main reasons, not only because of this is a very very cool sketch, but one of the reasons why I'm specifically doing a character sketch for this streaming episode is because I was asked by one of my friends who doesn't have Facebook but is still part of the team. I was asked by her, could I give some character details on the 6 members of the Iron Trills. So, but before I do that, I'm going to give her a very quick shout out. Oh, we got another question on the page. I'll get back to that later. Just make sure it's come through all right. Okay. Yeah, I was going to do her a shout out because she is a fantastic writer. I was going to do her a shout out for the next podcast, but as you've probably seen, we haven't had a podcast for quite a while. So instead of waiting until then, I thought I'd do it now. So you can find her on Wattpad, which, for those not in the know, is basically YouTube for books or novels or fan fiction and all that good stuff. And her user is Writer in the Hat, writer spelt with 2 T's and no spaces. So writer with a capital W, in with a capital I, the with a capital T, and hat with a capital H. But I'd definitely recommend checking out some of her work. I really would love to read more of her stuff than I actually do. It's just the sheer amount of stuff that I have to do, not only for my own projects but college. But when I do get around to reading it, it's always a really, really fantastic read. So, yeah, definitely recommend giving that a little look-see. Alright, okay, so I'm going to quickly go back to the questions on the group chat, but I will come back to the character summations after that. Alright, so Rosie asks, when do you plan to have the pilot for? The pilot, at the latest, I'd like to have out by the end of the summer. This is a definite promise, unlike the one that I did last summer, where I was like, yeah, sure, we'll have a episode out at the end of the summer or halfway through it, where the most we actually got out was some very terrible animation that I did on Pinnacle Studios. But yeah, that's when we plan to have it out at the latest. And then the next question, which kind of leads on from that, is what needs to be done for the pilot. So for those on the group page, you'll know that we have the episode 1 pilot script, the final draft, done. So that's all done. And we also have some planet sketches done, so that's all good. But what needs to be done, we need storyboarding done. So I'll go over with the storyboard artist on what the shots are going to be like. I'll probably do a variation of the script where it has a shot with a detail of what type of shot it is, or more so than I have in the script already. And then once that's done, I'm hopefully going to have the 2 voice actors for the pilot over during the half-term holiday doing their scenes, if not a final recording, just getting them accustomed to the lines that they're going to have to be reading. I do, and this is for future Alex who's going to be editing this. Future Alex, I want you to print out a copy of the script to give to these 2 gentlemen when you next see them at college. So yeah, do that. So yeah, that needs to be done. Then we'll move on to final drawings for each shot. While we're doing the recording, we do need some scenery designed. And if you're part of the production group, then I'll brief you on that on the group page. Sound. Oh yeah, we also need a theme tune written, but I thought we do have someone working on that, or a couple of people. And I thought with the pilot, because it's not actually introducing the main characters yet, and I want the intro to have mainly the main characters. We may just avoid having the intro music, so that can be worked on at leisure, and then we can still get a pilot out. And then once the final sketch or the final drawings are done and all the components are worked out, then it will just simply be animating, rendering, and uploading. That will be it. But there's still a fair amount to do. I'm not in denial about that. We've still got a hell of a lot in which to complete, but we do. I've set myself, I think, set us a fairly long time in which to complete it. So I don't think we're going to miss that deadline in any shape or form. So yes, that is what is yet to be completed for Iron Trills Pilot. Thank you for your questions. I will like both of those. My friend Simon, who was asking about the Lord of the Rings marathon, has also put on another question, asking whether we should do the Hobbit first or second. I don't know. See, when we do Star Wars marathons, I always insist on going from, even though it was kind of shit. Especially for people who haven't seen it. No, sorry. Yeah, especially for people who haven't seen it, to make sense, we'll go from Star Wars Episode 1 through to 6. I may battle with myself a bit there, though, because I always want to start with the originals, and I have insisted on a few occasions that we do that instead of starting with the prequels, but it hasn't always worked out that way. And oh crap. But for Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, yeah, I would say go from Lord of the Rings first. Yeah, go from Lord of the Rings first. I say Lord of the Rings first. Lord of the Rings first. Yes. Because it just makes sense. And I just think that the way that the Hobbit ends, it not only wraps up the Hobbit, but wraps up everything. And to have that first, then you go into Lord of the Rings, and it sort of all feels for nothing. You almost feel like you're going back on yourself, even though the time period is correct if you were to do it that way. Sorry, I'm just replying to this. In the stream. Okay. So let's go back to my friend's question about, or my friend's request about character profiles. Okay, so there are 6 main characters. I balanced it out, 3 males and 3 females. And I'll go through each one, giving a quick summary on their characteristics. We don't know who all the voice actors and actresses are yet. But if I do know, then I'll mention that with the summary. This is some pretty big stuff that we're going to be revealing in this stream. So let's start off with the guys in the group. The first one being Stephen, and he's the captain of the ship that the Iron Trills pretty much live in. An authority figure, but perhaps not the biggest authority figure on the ship. Probably consider himself to be a bit of a player. I think he's all about moving on with the times. Unlike one of the other characters who likes to preserve a way of doing things instead of moving along with technology. No, but Stephen, he's all about moving along with the times. He's very compassionate about every single member of his crew. Some more than others, which will be explained. If not in a streaming episode, then definitely in one of the actual episodes of Iron Trills itself. He's probably not the biggest fighter on the in the group, but he's definitely probably one of the most important. So it's a bit different to the productions that I usually do, because when I do something like an audiobook or anything like that, I tend to be the main character. So this is one of the first, if not the first, production where I'm not actually the main character. So yeah, this is a bit new for me too, and I'll admit I do get into the habit of writing my character to have more scenes than everyone else. It's not simply just because of the fact that I feel my character should be more important. I also am mindful of a thoughts drain away. It's more practical in terms of I can record whenever I need to, but to have a main character that isn't me, I need to pretty much get them over here and record stuff quite regularly. But it's a sacrifice I think I'm willing to take with this one. You know, it's not like I don't star in any of the productions I do, so that will be that'll be a bit different. And the person hopefully playing Stephen will be my friend Matt. He hosted whatever the first season of Nerdcast, if you guys remember that. Second character is Richard, and I'm hopefully going to be playing Richard. As I mentioned earlier, unlike Stephen, Richard is one for keeping with tradition, which is bizarre because he's actually an engineer and will work on futuristic tech. So there will be some conflict between Richard and Stephen. They think of each other as brothers. They wouldn't usually put any other members of the crew in danger if they could help it. So they'd go and face the danger while the rest of the crew did whatever. He's probably... I wanted to write him in as he enjoys his own company quite a lot and may get annoyed or irritated if that is invaded, and I suppose that somewhat reflects on me personally, especially if I'm doing a project I hate to be disturbed, no matter what it is with. It could be something annoying or it could be something interesting, but just period, I hate being disturbed. And the next character would be Ruben, who is the youngest male, and he is pretty much the apprentice to Richard. He's an engineer in training, doesn't want to stay with the Iron Trills for the whole of his life, wants to go off and become a professional mechanic. Perhaps he likes to believe in folktale quite a lot. I'm going to try and be not as spoiler heavy with this episode as I may be with future ones, but as you probably saw from the teaser trailer that I did, there's a race known as the Breath, and they are not very there's not a lot of evidence supporting their existence. There's probably even less so than there are in things like religions today. But he's a big believer of the Breath and will happily tell folk stories about them and just openly believe it. So, should the Breath make an appearance, it could be quite interesting to see that character's reaction to it. I don't know how much more I have to do with this. I'm just checking to make sure that I've covered everything. Oh, I've got those bits down there to do. And the rest of the sword. Okay, so the oldest, we'll go on to the females now. The oldest female, who we're currently working on now, is Felicity. I don't usually get to work on female characters in terms of developing them. I don't know whether I'm going to leave it up to someone else to come up with her personality and things like that. Oh, wow, why did I add so many layers? Okay. But I've sort of come up with the idea so far that she's going to be very outgoing. She would be probably considered to be the second in command of the Iron Trills. Probably a big mother figure to everyone. If there's a problem with any of the children, she'll be able to deal with it quite nicely. And I wanted to write her having a rather bizarre relationship with Stephen. Obviously, if you're secluded in a small area with no human contact for days and days, relationships and friendships will start to develop. But that will obviously then cause conflict between the crew members, and sides may have to be taken. So that could be quite interesting to write in. Again, if you have any comments or speculations, please put them in the comment section below. Not very happy about that bit there, but then again, it is just a simple digitalization, but I'm liking the rest of it. In fact, why go for just sort of that will do? I'm going to rub that bit out. Okay. Next character being Evangeline. She is the teenager on board. So she may be at that point of her life where she's wanting to explore new things. I don't know. I'm still toying with the ages at the moment, but perhaps she may want to try something on with Richard, and Richard's completely uninterested because he's had past experiences that haven't gone particularly well, and he's completely invested in his inventions and his work. So that could create some interesting scenes between him and Evangeline. She's probably more... because I've been working on the intro in my head. Obviously, I can't go too far with it because we haven't actually got any music yet for it. But I wanted to have a couple of shots just inside the ship with none of the characters, with this amazing spread of food. And you can have sort of a combination of futuristic food and then food that we'd recognise from Earth. So she'd be the cook. And perhaps a friendly person to go and talk to, providing that she's not too busy trying to get with Richard. Aurora being the youngest of pretty much everyone in the crew. She is fascinated by nature and will do everything that she can to collect different specimens. I'm currently working on a scene in episode 2 where she comes up to Richard with a butterfly, or a space butterfly, in a glass container where she's put like cellophane over the top but hasn't poked any holes in it, and the butterfly's dying. And it's sort of Richard to teach her that animals require the same requirements that humans need, so oxygen, water, that sort of thing, or at least most animals do. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the characters and a short summation for each and every one. I hope that was informative and not too difficult to listen to. The fact that I was very stuttery with each one. Oh dear. Okay, I'm not sure whether Rosie knows that we do a stream. or I'm not too. Wait, what? Oh, I think she may think that we actually stream it live. We don't stream it live. We don't do that. So my friend Matt, who is the one who might be voicing Steven, has said, "Who's your favorite Spider-Man? Do you think people are too harsh on Toby? Whatever the fudge that says. Might have misspelt. Well, I can't say it anyway. What do you think of the next Spider-Man being Miles Morales or whatever the fudge that says?" Okay. For those who know me, I despise the Amazing Spider-Man with a fiery passion. I really, really, really dislike him. So I personally prefer the older Spider-Man. But I suppose I can see why people enjoy the newer Spider-Man. In terms of the newer Spider-Man, the one that's currently in production, or the one that they're working on now. I don't know. I'd like to see a new person take to the role, because I wasn't very fond of the Amazing Spider-Man. But I'm not. I don't know whether they're now throwing out canon every single time they restart. They pretty much restart from scratch. But someone might have to help me out there on working that out. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly ready to see a new person take to the role, and excited to see what that person will bring to the role. But no, I'm in no rush to see another Amazing Spider-Man film, and as far as I'm aware, I don't think we will. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, those are my thoughts on who is the best Spider-Man. Obviously, I like some of the animated ones, like the Future Spider-Man. I thought was quite cool. But if we're just going to go by the films, then I'd definitely say the original Spider-Man was my favourite. Much to some other people's horror, I'm sure. But what can I say? I enjoyed that scene where he was walking down the street, being all awesome. Okay, so I've never been very good with colouring skin tones, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But we'll see. We'll see how well this goes. So far it's looking nice. Very nice. What I'll probably do is I'll probably colour it all one set colour, and then I'll work on doing some shading. I don't know whether this is going to be the final design for Felicity. I want everyone to have a little bit of a look-see, see what they think, post up a comment, and we'll go from there. I definitely really like the design. It was very, very well done. I'm gonna have to reply to Rosie, otherwise that will get confusing. The one I am recording now. Okay. Now I guess it's time to move on to the hair. I'm perfectly happy with the colour of hair that Layla's gone for, so I'm definitely going to try and replicate that as best I can. she's gone for probably that kind of blue for most of it, and then a turquoisey outline. So I'm gonna pretty much fill that so far. But it looks very, very nice. It reminds me a lot of Serenity. Not only with the outfit, but with the sword and just the feel of the character. It reminds me a lot of River. If you haven't seen Serenity or Firefly, I'd certainly recommend checking it out, because I'm not scared to say that there are quite a few elements of Serenity and Firefly that we adopt into Iron Trills, because it's so difficult now to come up with an original idea for a sci-fi. But that doesn't mean we're going to slack off. Any original ideas we can do, we will do. Right, and then the robe is, I'm not too fond of the purple that's been used. Not in any way that it's been done incorrectly with shading and stuff. I just don't like that color. But if that's the color that we're going to go for, then that's fine. I'm sure once one of our better 2D painters takes over, this will look a lot better. This is simply for the stream to show that we've actually got some content being produced right now. Actually, no. I'm gonna go for a navy blue for the shoulder. Oh, that's definitely not a navy blue in any shape or form. I might go for a darker purple just for the actual bra. Perhaps something like that. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below, because this is definitely a group project. Just want to make sure that I haven't missed out anything. No, I think it looks alright. I might change the color of the actual handle, because gold is always used in swords. But what about a browny red, sort of a maroon? Perhaps to show rust or wear and tear. It's something a bit different. I'm immediately liking it. It looks very nice. Again, I don't know whether this is the type of sword that we're going to use. I think my friend Matt at college worked on a sword. Yeah, he did. He worked on a sword for us. But then again, you know, just because we have that sword doesn't mean we can't have others. We'll have a variety of swords. And I'm just going to black those out. But so yeah, that is the work so far. I don't know what background I want to put it on. I suppose I should probably choose now before I start to edit the hair and the clothes and stuff like that, the skin tone. Oh, pardon me, anymore. And a different colour background might help me realise if I've missed out any bits that I need to fill in. Wow. Oh, do we have more comments? I'm not too sure. Yeah, we do. What's the style of animation going to be like? I'm a bit confused. I know it's 2D, but drawn models, I'm not sure. We're actually going to do a combination of 2D and 3D. The drawing style, I want to stick as close to anime as possible, because it will simply work best with the story and the weapons that we're going to be using. In terms of which one's going to be more prominent, probably a 2D. The 3D is going to be more for any giant space battles that we're thinking of doing later on in the series. or my friend Luke, he came up with the design for one of the Authority figures spacecrafts, um, and I was thinking of having that on some sort of advertisement board, um, just because it looks it looks crisp and clean, and it would look quite cool on a 2D environment. But yeah, probably the 2D is going to be more prominent, but we will have 3D elements. It's really not that we're half-arsing this, but it may depend simply on who's available at the time, and if we can't get a 2D, if we can't get 3D done, then we'll work more on a 2D episode. But I definitely want to have a bit of both. See whether we can mix that together, because there are videos out there, and of anime, Ruby being the main one that comes to mind, where they have a brilliant combination of 2D and 3D. Some people say it's a bit jarring, but I've watched Ruby enough now to be able to get used to it. So yeah, don't know. Okay. See, I think a white background just does it justice, because black just, I don't know. I'll do a white background just for now, and then we can work that out later. But I'm now going to work on some skin toning. There's probably going to be quite a lot of shadow going down the leg, also on this leg as well, because it's being covered by the cape or the skirt or whatever. I'm not very good with women's clothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my syringe tool, I like to call it, but it's probably not. There we go, and just take that and then find a darker version of that colour. So I want to go a bit grey with it, just to show perhaps this woman's been in combat for a while, may not have been able to get to a shower, and I have completely mucked that up because I did it on the wrong layer. That layer, there we go. But yeah, I've never really done shading before, and I don't tend to do it in my sketches either, my freehand sketches. So yeah, this is a new experience for me. One I hope not to completely muck up. It does look a bit like she's peed down her leg, but you know, we'll work with it. Work with my terrible attempt. Feel like that needs a bit more, just there. Wait, I actually want to see what this. See, once that's done, I'm sure it'll be fine. Just looks a bit urine-y at the moment. I'll like Simon's question. I'm not sure whether I said that was Simon who asked about the style of animation. Let's color all this good stuff in. This is probably one of my best traces today. I mean, I did quite a lot of it in my last college project. I can't draw freehand on the computer. I just can't. It's just something that I'm not particularly skilled in doing. So I tend to try and avoid it if possible. I know it's not always avoidable, and it certainly wasn't in this project. So I ended up not this project, the college one. I ended up having to do some freehand character sketches, and I really suck at that, and I ended up mucking them up a bit. Proportions were out and stuff like that. So I'm all right when it comes to traces and the animation itself, but I'm really glad that we have such a great team for Iron Trills, because I don't think I'll be able to pull it off just me. That probably wouldn't happen. But yeah, please post in comment section below if it looks like that she has in fact peed herself. Hopefully it doesn't look like that though. Hopefully it'll be fine. Oh, and we have Comic-Con this weekend. Assuming of course that this comes out before this weekend. So what I don't even know what today is. It's the 20th, I think, 20th of May. I'm all thrown out because I didn't go to work today, so I don't know what day it is, to be truthful. But yeah, Comic-Con should be great. It'll be my first con. I have been to conventions. I went to a Star Wars convention when I was quite young, and I went to a gaming convention a couple of years ago. But I've never been to a con, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And if all goes to plan, I will be cosplaying as the Master from Doctor Who, but that'll be the David Tennant's Master, not the Peter Capaldi Mistress. I went a bit frisky with the brush then, but seems to be alright. Mum outside moving the bins. Nearly finished with the work on her leg or legs. There we go. Yeah, it looks good. So now probably the part that I'm most dreading, because I hate to get it wrong. The hair. I'm gonna go with a turquoisey colour. And I think what I might do is I might go onto my pencil tool, but if I can turn down the I've done that, turn up the hardness, and then go on opacity, turn that down to 50%. Well, what's the difference between 50 and 100? Okay. I shut the door when I'm recording. Okay, so back to hair. Sorry about that. I had to shut the door. This is not a good idea to go as long as I have without drinking. My throat's feeling extremely dry. Oh, I hate doing highlights in hairs. I always feel like I completely muck it up. If I do an outline like this, then I can just see how it looks. And if I hate it, then I can just get rid of it. There we go. I've had no new questions on the group page, so nothing to report there. We've got about 10 minutes left of this stream, and then I'll get right on to recording the other one. The only reason why I'm doing that is, well, we do have some really cool art that I mean, probably on the same level as this. I'm going to move on to, but the other reason being that because we didn't have one last week, simply because I just had so much college work to do, I had to take a break from iron trills for a little bit. I don't like doing it, but it had to be done. In terms of it far away, it actually looks alright. So I may just keep it like that. What I'm going to do is, though, I'm only going to do the highlight up to here. Because I'm mindful of the fact that the hair doesn't actually stop there, it just goes behind it, I think. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to do some texturing work on the dress skirt thingy. Once I have pulled myself together. I can probably keep the group page just sort of over there. Probably won't be any messages now, but for the next episode. But that's not a problem because we'll just sort of talk about what we're doing. I'm gonna actually work on the sword next. I don't know why it's done that. Why is the opacity on 100? Oh, don't say I didn't change it down to 50. That's annoying. Just gonna check to make sure I do like it. Yeah, it should be fine. Again, really not a big fan of doing hair texturing. Right, okay, so I'm going to move on to the blood now on the sword. I may as well use the only 50% opacity thingy on it. Add a bit more to it, add a bit more depth to show that it's dried a bit. On a blade, I want to put some more crosshair. Oh no. Mindful of the fact that I've got to keep colouring, otherwise it's gonna essentially go to a new layer in itself and then I'll end up overlapping. I don't really want to do that. Okay. And then I'll do the overlapping red for the more prominent blood. See how that looks? It's looking good. And I probably want to cover the whole top half of the sword in it. Show that it's been rammed through someone. Because I feel like that's important. There we go. Oh, I think I went out. Actually, no, I'm going to start again because I wasn't sure whether I actually left the... Well, you know, if I did, I would have seen that, but it's too late now to... It's probably not, but I'm not going to go back. I'm going to keep on going. Okay. And we're approaching the 4-minute to finish off land point. There will be a subject that I want to go into for episode 4, so it won't be complete silence. I know that there have been some moments in this when it has been quiet, but you have to concentrate to be able to get the best result. Yeah, now that looks very nice. Oh, my eyes just twitched out. I've been staring too long. I probably should take a break after I've done this, just because, but I probably won't. There may be a point during the second episode, or the fourth, I guess, if you count them all, where I have to stop to eat. But after that, I'll be right back to continue this. Plus, it will give people an opportunity to ask questions while I'm away, should they wish to. I'm really not sure what other textures I should add to the dress. This really is a very, very cool looking character. Definitely looking forward to working with her more in Iron Trills when we actually start to make episodes. I'll do some maybe some brown around it just to show wear and tear. Sorry, I drained off then. It was like wear and tear. Yeah. I had no words. Those words were gone. I love the little leaf on the end of the sword. That's very cool. So yeah, there is what I hope to be a close to be finished trace of Felicity. Might do some lighter grey or darker grey, I'm not too sure. What does dark grey look like? Maybe darker grey. Guess I could do that. So like some around here. Oopsie daisies. Like that. That looks very nice. You know what? I think I'm almost happy. And that's quite difficult for me because I tend not to. I tend to judge myself quite harshly on my attempts. I am quite happy with this. I'll probably put this up on the group pages immediately after the stream's finished, so we can see that there was something created in the stream. But there we go. There's the digitalized Felicity. thank you very much for watching. Again, if you have any comments or speculations, please put them in the comment section below. And thank you very much for listening / watching Stream Not Streaming episode 3. And I'm going to get on to doing Streaming Not Streaming episode 4. Alright, see you guys later.